All right, so you want to talk Bitcoin versus gold. Buckle up, because we're diving deep into a debate that's practically legendary in the world of finance.
Yeah, this isn't just some kind of theoretical back and forth. This is about as real as it gets. When you talk about money value, what even is wealth? I mean, what are we really talking about when we say something is valuable?
Exactly. And for this deep dive, we're checking out this debate hosted by Swan Bitcoin on their YouTube channel. It's actually called Bitcoin versus Gold. Epic debate. No exaggeration there either. They've got two heavy hitters going head to head. Jack Mallers.
Oh, yeah. I know.
He's CEO over at this Bitcoin company, lives and breathes this stuff.
Yeah.
Satoshis.
Right.
Smallest unit of a Bitcoin. So yeah, you've got him. And on the other side, you've got Peter Schiff. Mr. Gold himself practically built a dynasty on it.
It's kind of perfect for a debate, right? You've got the new versus the old, the digital world clashing with like the oldest form of money out there. What they're really getting at is, what's the ultimate store of value? Like if you're looking ahead, where do you put your money? Where's it actually safe?
And they really go there. No easy questions here. Like they actually break down whether gold can even keep up with inflation anymore. Can something digital, something you can't even hold, be considered real money?
Which is a fascinating question in itself.
Totally. And what about gold? Did it already have its moment as a currency and just completely fumbled?
And you know what I find interesting? Both of these guys, Mallers and Schiff, they both agree that the current system, that whole fiat currency thing where governments can just print money whenever they feel like it,
right?
They both think it's totally messed up.
Yeah. They're both searching for some kind of alternative, something that'll protect against what they see as like inevitable inflation. And that's where they diverge. That's where the paths split.
Totally.
Mallers comes out swinging, though. He's all about Bitcoin. For him, it's all about the fixed supply. Only 21 million Bitcoins ever going to exist. That's huge, especially in a world where, like you said, governments can basically create money out of thin air.
Yeah. It's a wild thought, isn't it, when you really think about how money is created?
It is. Okay, so not only that, Mallers is like, hey, Bitcoin's super easy to move around, send it anywhere in the world instantly.
Yeah.
And it's divisible. You want to start small, no problem. Buy a tiny fraction of a Bitcoin. It's like he's saying Bitcoin is the money of the future made for the digital age. Fast, borderless, the whole package.
He's got a point. It's definitely more in line with how we live now.
Oh, and the stats he drops. Buckle up for this Bitcoin's average yearly return over the past decade. 60%. Now, I know past performance is not indicative of future results and all that, but still, that's a whole lot more exciting than what gold's done in that same time. Like 2% adjusted for inflation.
It's almost like comparing apples and oranges at this point.
Right. But hold on. Before you go dumping all your gold, Schiff makes some really good points, too. He argues that gold has this built-in inherent value because you can hold it. It has real uses in the world, and it's been valuable for thousands of years. Bitcoin, that's just ones and zeros. It's in a computer somewhere, right?
And that's where it gets interesting. Even if you're leaning towards Bitcoin, Schiff's tapping into something very primal. You know, that need to hold something real in your hand, like it makes it more real.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I get that. Some people still prefer physical photos instead of digital. It's that same instinct. So how does Mallers respond to that? How do you argue with that need for something tangible?
Oh, he tackles it straight on.
Yeah.
You know, he's like, look, we're so stuck on value being tied to some physical thing. But what about the internet itself?
Yeah.
That's what he asks a few decades ago. It was just this abstract thing, too.
Yeah.
Just ones and zeros. Nobody really knew what to do with it. But now...
It's everything.
Exactly. It's how we talk to each other, how we do business, how we experience the entire world.
Yeah.
So what Mallers is saying is, look, Bitcoin might be digital, but it could be just as fundamental as the internet itself.
That's a bold statement. I like it. But Schiff's not backing down. He keeps going back to gold's inherent value. Uses jewelry as an example. People have always valued gold. It's beautiful. It's rare. You can make it into all this incredible stuff. It's endured for centuries across cultures, across civilizations.
See, this is where understanding subjective value comes in Schiff's, right? About gold having uses, but its price. That's not just about practicality. It's about us humans. What we've all agreed it's worth.
So it's all in our heads.
Kind of. That shared belief is what drives markets, whether it's gold or Bitcoin. It's the same principle.
So you're saying even gold's value isn't as inherent as it seems?
Exactly. A gold bar by itself, it doesn't have some magic value. It's the shared belief that it's scarce, that it's got history, that it's beautiful and useful. That's what gives it value. Bitcoin's the same way, just digital.
So both gold bugs and Bitcoin people are kind of betting on a shared belief.
In a way, yeah. They're putting their faith in a system, a set of ideas. They're saying these things will hold value over time. Interesting, right. Something is valuable because we all decide it is. Makes you think about money totally differently.
It really does. Okay, so another thing Schiff brings up is that Bitcoin can be divided into these tiny pieces. Satoshis, right? He says that means it's not really scarce, uses this whole infinite pizza analogy.
Ah, yes. The infinite pizza. It's a classic misunderstanding about Bitcoin. Just because you can keep slicing a pizza doesn't mean you have more pizza, right?
Right, still the same amount of pizza.
Exactly. Scarcity with Bitcoin comes from that fixed supply. 21 million coins total. No matter how many pieces you cut it into, it doesn't change that. That's the difference between Bitcoin and fiat currency. Governments can just print more money whenever they want. With Bitcoin, there's a limit.
Okay, so we've got these two sides. They seem totally opposed. But here's the thing. They both agree that the current way we do money, fiat currency, it's broken.
Totally.
Yeah.
They might have different solutions, gold or Bitcoin. But the underlying concern, that's the same. They want an alternative. They want to protect their wealth because they're not sure the current system can.
It's almost like that they're both looking at the same problem, but they see completely different solutions.
Right. And you know what? You can't have this Bitcoin versus gold conversation without talking about. It's that elephant in the room.
Volatility. Bitcoin's price swings. Those can be exciting.
To say the least. But they can also be terrifying if you're not careful.
Exactly. It's like comparing a roller coaster to a nice leisurely train ride. Gold has literally thousands of years backing it up. It's been this stable asset. Sure, the price goes up and down, but not like Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin's a whole different animal.
And that's what it comes down to, right? How much risk can you handle? Are you the type who loves the thrill of maybe doubling your money overnight, even if it could get cut in half just as easily? Or are you more comfortable knowing things are going to be a little more predictable, even if the gains aren't as big?
See, and that's the thing about this whole debate. There's no single right answer. It all depends on you, your goals, how much time you're giving it, and how much risk you can actually stomach. Can you sleep at night knowing your investment could be up or down a crazy amount tomorrow?
Some people can. Some people absolutely can. It's really personal.
Exactly. Are you thinking long-term, like decades from now? Or are you trying to make a quick return? It's like picking the right tool. You wouldn't use a hammer to fix a leaky faucet.
Right. Makes sense. And it makes you wonder about money in general. I mean, is this the beginning of the end for like dollars and euros as we know it?
Who knows? It's wild to think about. Everything's changing so fast. The way we think about money, about value, about how we actually buy and sell things. It's all being challenged. You've got governments trying to hold on with their own digital currencies.
Right, like they're trying to catch up.
Exactly. But then you've got these decentralized cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin just completely changing the game.
It's a lot to wrap your head around. So where does that leave us? What's the one thing you really want listeners to remember from all of this?
I'd say don't get caught up in the hype. Don't just blindly follow what everyone else is saying, whether it's the gold fanatics or the Bitcoin diehards. Do your own research. Understand what you're actually investing in. And most importantly, think about your own life, your goals, your risk tolerance. We're in uncharted waters here, which can be scary, but it's also really exciting.
For sure. This is history in the making. Maybe one day we'll be telling our grandkids about the good old days when we had to choose between like digital gold and real gold.
I know, right?
A wild time.
It'll be like explaining rotary phones or dial-up internet.
Totally. But hey, for now, it's something investors are really struggling with. Hopefully this deep dive gave everyone a starting point, something to think about as they figure out what works best for them. I think so too. And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive into Bitcoin versus gold. Remember, folks, it's your money, your future. Make those choices count.